am Dr. Joan Coleman, and the exchange is exciting.
I'm Denise Cavalier. The exchange is real.
I'm Carolyn Quaker. The exchange is empowering.
I'm Donna Hutchinson. The exchange is thought-provoking.
The exchange, a Let Me Be Me podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Exchange with Dr. Joan Coleman. Mom, mommy, mama, mom. Before we get into it, let's introduce the ladies. Donna
Hutchinson.
Carolyn Quaker.
Denise Cavalier.
And I'm Dr. Joan Coleman. Today on The Exchange, we're talking about mothers. And what's our topic, Donna?
Our mothers appreciated.
Our mothers appreciated. And so we're going to get into that. Mother's Day is around the corner, and we want to just encourage some of our moms out there. So, ladies, do you think moms are appreciated?
I think so, except I don't think anyone will ever know our full story and what we actually do on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows what it's like to get them kids out of the house in the morning every single day. And that's one example of a million things.
I think moms are appreciated when the kids are younger. And I'm talking about by the kids. Do you agree with that, Carolyn? What do you think?
Yeah. I think the kids get older and they think, oh, we don't really need you. And, we can speak to you unkindly and you're still going to be here and stuff. So, yeah, I think the appreciation is there when they're young.
What do you think?
I think moms are most appreciated when they're absent. So I think all of us moms and moms who are listening need to take time for yourselves, remove yourselves from the home, and let somebody else step in, because that's when they'll appreciate you most.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know someone who's like, oh, this is too much. I'm going to the shore for the weekend by myself. Peace out. Because moms do need to replenish. You do need to recharge. You do need to refresh. Because like Donna said, when we started, we was putting the kids on the bus, making sure lunch is made, making sure shoes are tied, making sure noses are wiped, and that's a lot of responsibilities. And why do you think all that falls on the mom?
I know. I say this often. Why? Because I'm a woman. Do we think that I want to spend every Saturday at the birthday parties? Mm-hmm. I don't. You know what I mean? But we just assume that that's our responsibility. And if the dad does it, aren't they great? Yeah. But if the women don't want to do it, it's like, what's wrong with you? That's what you're supposed to do. So, that's a big conversation that I'm interested in having, because I don't want to do all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are we looked down on if we don't?
I think for me, like, my husband and I sort of decided before we had kids what the roles were going to be. Mm-hmm. And so I did do more of that, because that's what the decision that we made. And, and I was okay with it because I wanted it.
Right.
But you're right. Over time, it somehow turns into like feeling more like a servant, less fulfilling, a little more negative, and that can be challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, go ahead, Denise.
Well, I think the roles today are jacked up, too. So you're not only are you doing the mother, the mother role or whatever, the perceived mother role or woman's role or whatever, but you're working full-time most of the time, and sometimes more than one job. And so it really does spread you thin. And so there is this expectation that somehow we're going to do it all and do a great job, and every weekend, and, while other people are napping or whatever it is. And it's a little skewed. There's a little imbalance there.
Yeah. Yep. Well, who created these roles, and why? Why are they created? I mean, of course, I guess it started because the men went out to hunt and the women stayed home with the kids. But now it's like a little more ridiculous, because you're not only are you staying home taking care of the kids, making sure they're taken care of. You got to take care of the bed, the house, the laundry, the cooking, and who like says this is for you, woman.
Yeah.
Like, who made that up?
I didn't agree to any of this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're expected to take care of everything, take care of yourself, be the career woman. You don't want to have like only rely on your children, but make sure you take care of your children and don't spend too much time on your career. I'm like, this is why we're all insane, because we're all being told we need to be this and we also need to be this. We can't be all the things, and it's really difficult. And for me, I've tried to really sort of keep one foot in career, but I can't say that there hasn't been places where I've lacked with my kids, you know. So there definitely is a struggle in trying to be all of the things, and can we put that down? Can we stop?
Yeah. We can't be all the things. Do you? You made an agreement with your husband. Did you come to the realization that I can't be all the things?
Yeah, eventually I did. And the other thing is I put something weird on myself that I was a stay-at-home mom, so I should also volunteer and say yes to everything. And it took me, I mean, till a year ago to even like kind of get out of that. And that's a long time into motherhood. So I did some disservice to myself that wasn't anything he did, you know, wasn't his fault. But but I think also we had this like vision of how long I would stay home that didn't actually work out. So it's hard.
Can I add to that too, of like how we take on things? Like when I had gotten laid off from my job when I had my oldest daughter. So when I had her, I slept on the couch so I could get up all night with my daughter so my husband could sleep because he was the one working. He never asked me to do that. That was completely like taken on myself. And it's like, but we just assume like that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. And when I had my second one, I was like, oh, heck no, I'm not doing that, because I felt so isolated. Right. But it was totally self-imposed. And it's interesting, like, it's like why we choose that.
I used to take my children away on the weekends so my husband could have a weekend off. Guess how many times I got a weekend off? Yeah. Big fat zero.
Yeah.
And again, he didn't tell me to.
Right.
Yeah.
I did it. I just was like, oh, I should give him a break. Make my life crazier this weekend.
Yeah. You guys are great. I signed up for none of that. How about you, Denise?
Well, I mean, I did happen to notice on the weekends when I was working, when my kids were really small, that I never got a nap. You know, like I just kept on going and kept on plowing through it. So, but like you said, it's our fault. Are we speaking up and saying, whoa, it's my day for a nap or whatever? And so we do. I think we place a lot of these unrealistic expectations upon ourselves, and then we reap the consequences.
I'm having a little bit of fun, though, now with teenagers at home, kind of getting out of some of the stuff that I've put on myself for the years, and like sort of watching, as you're not doing things that you used to do, how people are handling, you know, oh, there's no food. Oh, well, you have a wallet and the car keys.
Yeah. That's
you do.
Yeah.
Ain't that great?
Plenty of food for me to eat. Sorry, you don't like it. You know, not making lunches as much, you know, and I just started a new rule because 2 of my kids want to be driven to school because they hate the bus, and the bus is kind of a nightmare. So I said, great. Every day, 45 minutes, I get a job done of my choosing in the afternoon if I've driven you to school.
Yeah, that's a good
Loving
deal.
it.
Yeah,
that's give and take.
Yeah, I never made an agreement about. We didn't even talk about when I had kids. This is how it's going to happen. It's like when I have kids, whatever happened is what's going to happen, and you're going to be there with me. And I'm fortunate enough to have somebody that's there. Listen, if laundry needs to be done, he knows how to do laundry. If he likes to cook, if I don't want to cook, he could cook. So we've always had that, you know, dynamic, and our kids saw that, and our kids grew up in that. And now, you know, when they got to like 14, they didn't want parenting. They were like, they became very private, and, you know, they did their own thing within bounds. You know, we still had to watch them till they turned 21 or 18 because they moved out. My oldest moved out when he was turned 25, and my younger one, he went to stay with my nanas because my oldest had COVID, and he was like, I don't want COVID. So he decided that he's going to stay there because he loved it there. So, which is great. But now they're independent. They're doing their own laundry. They're finding their own food. And they're doing, you know, things. And then I look and I'm like, dang, we raised those kids. They're independent. Yeah. They're kind. They're good people. Awesome. And you didn't even know you're doing it in that moment till you see them. And then I don't like to take credit for that. I'm like, that's not me. That's none of me. My husband's like, we did a good job. I'm like, nope, not us, But it's great to see how they turn out, with both of us just doing what we do without saying, oh, you do that, I'm do this, I'm going to take a nap. If I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. My husband knows that. And if he's tired, he's going to sleep, and it's just like give and take. So do you think motherhood, being a mom, is give and take? You just said, listen, I took this on myself.
Yeah.
But what about the other part of it?
What do you mean the other part?
The husband saying, let me take some of that from you.
Sure. I mean, everything you're describing, though, was what happened for me, but then it was my internalizing it. So that was my choice. So I've certainly loosened the reins through the years, but yes, definitely I think my husband's always been very good about when it was his turn to step up, he would. It's just how much did I internalize? That was
why did you do that as a mom? Why do we
know.
do that? Why do you ladies internalize
I remember being very scared of not having like maternal instincts and not knowing what I was going to know what to do. So I think I kind of overcompensated because I felt so insecure that it came out as, let me try to do all of it just to prove to everyone else and to myself that I can. That was a big one that was my story.
I was trying to, I think, undo some things in my childhood I didn't like and reinforce some things I did, but again, way too much pressure. It wasn't a good thing.
How about you, Denise?
I think my story is probably similar to yours, Carolyn, as I was trying to beat down some old stories and make sure everything turned out perfect, which of course it never does. And we're talking about human beings, and you're a human being, right? But I think I was always up against that, that standard of I got to do a good job here. I got to do a good job. So,
It's so funny because this brought back a story for when my kid was young, right? My first son, now he was the only child and stuff. And we would always take a walk. And, he wouldn't run, like we trusted him that much. So one day we were walking and he started to run. I'm like, he's not going to run in the street. He's not going to run in the street. Lo and behold, didn't that boy run into the street? And then you're like questioning your parents' skills, like, what happened? I trusted him not to run in the street because we take this walk every day. He didn't do it before. But then he decided that was the moment he's going to run into the street. And so we tried to I'm not going to yell like my parent yelled. I'm not going to put the reins on like my parents put the reins on. But sometimes, do we need to do that? Do we need to put the reins on? What do you think? Carolyn, you have teenagers. Talk about that.
Oh, we do. We do. You know what I'm struggling with more with my kids, though, is letting them fail a little bit. But there has to be boundaries and expectations, and we talk about them. And actually, one of my kids yesterday, he said something to me. He's like, "You're acting like my grades are a problem," because marking period just ended or whatever. And he's like, "This is a much harder class than last year. You're comparing everything incorrectly." And it was a really great conversation, So it's kind of fun too when they grow up.
Yeah. You know what's difficult for me? And Donna, you're going to go through this. I'm so sorry. It's letting go. It's so hard. You carry them for 9 months, right? They grow up. They turn, adult, and they want to be free. They want, around 17 years old, my son was like, "Mom, you don't never let me do things I want to do." And I'm like, "But I don't know how to let go." It was a whole emotional breakdown because I just didn't know how to let go. That was the most difficult thing for me to do. I still call him I'm still like, "How are you today? How you doing?" Because it was so hard to let go. Why as mom is it so hard? Dads are like, "Bye, I'll see you when see you next week. Whenever you come, I'll see you." Why is it so hard for us to let go?
I feel like I was just reflecting on this, how like everything with mothers, there has to be like a breaking point at some point.
Yeah.
Reflecting on myself, like going through that process, there has to come a point where there's like a break. And I think maybe it's biology that like we were raised with our mothers, so there has to be that official cut of the umbilical cord at some point where it's deeper than it is with fathers. I don't know, but I feel like there always is that moment with moms. I don't know.
Do you? Because it's tough. It's tough, and I don't know why it's so tough for moms to let go. Because when they're little, we're like, oh, I can't wait till they get big. Oh my gosh, this is so much work. Why do I have to go to another birthday party? And then they become teenagers and like, oh, if he looks at me like that again, it's gonna be problems. And then you get through that phase, and then you get to the phase where they're like, I'm ready to be free. You're like, no.
Yeah.
And it's a whole dramatic thing. So are we just dramatic? First we want them to go, and then now we want them to stay. Do you find that, or is it just me just don't want them to leave? Like the nest. They left, but
I am having trouble letting go. Somebody asked me to consider why I am so unwilling to let my oldest fail, that I should just let him fail, and I need to just accept that that's part of the learning and it's okay. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm really struggling to let him fail. I keep saying like, no, I got to just help. I got to like keep it going or whatever. So I think it is hard. I don't really want mine to leave. I want them to speak nicer to me.
Yeah.
And stay.
How did you find it when yours leave? Was it hard for you to let go, or you was just like, see ya?
I think, you have I had a mix of emotions where, you're very excited for them and very happy. But I think in the beginning there's some fear, like what if something happens to them, or, what if they, screw something up. And I think you learn through time, just little by little, letting out the rope and seeing that they're doing very well, that you've done a really good job. So believing that you've done a good job, seeing the evidence of that is comforting. But it's never easy. It's just, I don't know. It's just...
I think you've touched on something I've realized recently, where it's like it's the most joyful experience with the deepest heartbreak all at the same time.
Yep.
It's never one or the other. It is both constant. And I'm really trying to learn to hold both ends of emotion.
Yes.
So acknowledging that it's all intertwined and it's all happening at once is... And it's hard. How do we deal with that?
I know. It's just every day is different. Every day. My mom would say sometimes coffee, sometimes tea. Every day is different, And so we just have to deal with it and just love on them. And all you could do is just love those kids and love your role as a mama, because that's a great role. Many don't get to play that role.
That's right.
And so if you are one that gets to play that role, just embrace it. The good times, the bad times, the difficult times, the eye-rolling times, the times you say if you don't get over there somewhere, you got to embrace all those roles. So tell me, what can you tell a mom that's really going through a tough time with one of her kids or a teenager or something, they're not doing the right thing or going down the right path? I know you guys have different experiences, but can you...
I don't feel like I'm not at that stage to speak on that.
Yeah.
My oldest is going to be 11. Bounce.
I mean, even with the younger ones, you have those in school that's cutting up and not doing good, because you have great girls. Oh. Girls are good.
So far, so good, yeah.
So, if it were to come to that.
Well, I could take that one.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've definitely been down that road. So I think I have learned that your own self-care during those times is so important, because I feel like for me, you can get so sucked into their problems that you're trying to fix it. Like you said, letting people fail, and that's difficult. And so I found for me it's very important to focus on my own joy, my own life.
Yeah.
Like you're there to offer the advice and the support. Let them know that you're there, but that you're not going to fix these issues.
Right.
And so I think focusing on yourself is important during those times. Otherwise, it could drain you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take care of you.
Yes.
And then imagine you spent almost 21 years taking care of someone else, maybe 3 other people, 2 other people. it's time to take care of you. And we're in a time now where self-care is good for your mental health.
Yeah.
So you have to do what Denise say. Take some moment. Go sit in the car. Like when I get home, I don't immediately get out the car. I have to like sit there for a few minutes. I don't know why. I just sit there, try to decompress and just like get together before I go in. So even if you sit in the car, I like to say go in the bathroom, do something to give yourself some time away so you don't, say the wrong things. Donna, what are some tips you could tell for self-care to help a mom, Mother's Day,
Yeah, I mean, self-care for me especially helps with like resentment. Because sometimes you do become a little bit resentful that you're just constantly giving. Yes. That's a big truth for me. That's hard to admit, but it is true. So I need that space. The only way I can give is if I fill thy cup first. So taking a bath, taking that time away, knowing when you've reached your limit and you need a quiet space in a quiet, dark room. You need that space away, and don't just keep plowing through. Step back, because the more you build up emotion, you're only going to be reactive, and you sometimes need to defuse.
Yep, you gotta defuse. Carolyn, what are some tips to help somebody?
Well, I think self-care for sure. I'm doing much better with that. Actually, one of my friends said, "Wow, like I could learn from you. You're doing self-care so well." But I think with my kids as they've gotten older, I've tried to do some things in writing, like lists or agreements or sending messages in text, or we have this Teams app. Because then there's less, I didn't hear you, or that nonsense that triggers me. I'm definitely triggered by not being heard. So do things like that, and have a dialogue about what are the goals and how can we support you? What would you like us to do? What am I willing to do? That's helped a little bit with my oldest. And I told him, I don't know. It's not one of the answers. Something. Just say something. You have to say something.
Yeah. What do you think about gentle parenting?
Gentle parenting. Well, I think we do a lot of that until we get to the point where
we're no longer gentle.
When we've reached our limit. Now we're not gentle. Yeah. But I think that's why the self-care is really important for me. One of the things I always found out is I never made myself a priority. I was always, but it was martyr syndrome all the way. Okay?
Self-induced, yep.
And that doesn't lead to a good place, that martyr stuff. And then because they see you putting yourself last, they treat you like you're last, So, maybe it's a little too little too late, but never really. Like the lesson is always good. That treat yourself like a priority. Make sure they know you're a priority. Not every minute, but sometimes you are, and you're not going to drop everything. Yep.
And that's good stuff for that new mama out there, for that mama that has teenager, for that mama that has middle schoolers. Take care of yourself, and it's not selfish to put yourself first, and self-care is never selfish. Take a little bit of time, ask your husband or your boyfriend or your friend, watch these kids, I'll be right back in 2 hours, whatever it takes, and do it. I'm going to throw some words out to you, and quickly you tell me what comes to mind. Let me start with Carolyn. Book and wine.
Book and wine? Oh, well, read a book and drink a glass of wine if that's what you like. And that's perfect self-care.
Yep. Epsom salt and lavender oil.
Oh, yes. I just did foot soaks for me are like take me to heaven. So, Epsom salt is good for the soul.
Yeah. Massage and lingerie. Lingerie.
Yeah. Do your thing, girl. That's right. Yes, absolutely.
Donna gave me no answer.
That was a yes. Clear yes, please, thank you. Yeah.
That was a yeah. You got to get into some stuff, get into some trouble, right, Donna? Get your Epsom salt, lavender, take a soak if you can. Get some wine, a book, read, and I know you're like, these kids are here all the time. I don't have time to read. If you have time to drink some wine, you have time to read a book.
Yes.
Step aside, I'm saying.
Oh, I got a quick story for you that it was a good reflection for me. So I thought I'd share was that one day I had taken a day for myself, went did all my things, came home, my kid spilled something, and I was like Snow White. I was like, sure, children, I'll clean up. Everything's fine. And I was like, that's a really different response than if I came home and had a really hard day and was like, ah. So really noticeable different response when we take care of ourselves versus when we just grind it out. So, the inner Snow White came out.
Yep. Take care of yourself so that inner Snow White could come out. Because I'm telling you, I'm like, if you don't get some paper towel and wipe that up, it's going to be problems. Okay? I know, right? I'm tough. I'm a tough mom. What do you think about being a tough mom? Carolyn, I know you're a tough mom.
But I wasn't. I was not a tough mom for a long time. I like being a tough mom. I think it's hard to be a kid today, and I think it's also really easy to be a kid today. And I think they need a little toughness because they have some stuff that's just so easy for them, and they just need it. Yeah.
And I like that. And what about the kids that, I could be rich off YouTube, and I could be rich off social media, so I don't want to go to college. I think we're finding a lot of that now, right? How do you steer those kids? Like, get an education, or do you trust that their entrepreneurial spirit will kick in? I mean, it's a difficult question because
on the kid, on their gifts, their talents. I mean, not every kid is going to be set up for college. I mean, I like the college route. I think it'd be great if everybody did at least a couple of years, but not every kid is set for that track, and so I think we need to be very sensitive. But it's tricky, isn't it? Because we don't want to go down the lazy road, the lazy river, right?
Yeah.
But
or crush their spirit because maybe they do have a good idea, and maybe they could. I've had somebody in my house who's very near to us right now who wanted to go that route for a while, so we'll see. But backups is good, and doesn't have to be college, but some version of a plan.
Correct.
There's lots of vocational training that can be done. Having the discussion of how much it costs to live was very eye-opening for one of my children and stuff like that. And also looking at what college costs and how to pay it off and have all those tough discussions.
Yeah, it's tough being a parent today, especially being a mom. We give dads credit, the dads that's in their kids' life, the dads that are around, the dads that's helping out the moms, but it's tough really being a mom. I think we're built kind of differently, We have that umbilical cord and it's right there, and sometimes it's just hard to see your kids go through tough times, and we're wired to help. We're just like, whatever you need, even though we don't want to do it, sometimes we want to step back, but we're just wired that way. So don't beat yourself up because of the mom you are. Just embrace who you are, embrace what you do, and just try to love hard on those kids before it's time for them to leave the nest. All right. And we're just here to encourage you and to uplift you and to motivate you and let you know that you're doing a really great job, even if you think you're not, even if you want to have a martyr symptom and say, listen, I'm going to sleep on the couch while my husband sleeps because I love him so much and I love my children. Whatever it is that you do it to the best of your ability and know that you're doing a great work. You are a great mom, single moms, married moms, all the moms. You're doing good. Listen, I am Dr. Joan Coleman. This is The Exchange, and I'm with
Donna Hutchinson,
Carolyn Poiker,
Denise Cavalier.
And we have a new YouTube email. Carolyn, can you tell them?
The Exchange Podcast NJ@gmail.com.
The Exchange Podcast NJ@gmail.com. We're on CNJN TV. We're on CNJN Facebook page. We're on the Exchange Facebook page. We are everywhere. We're on LinkedIn. Look for us, okay? And we hope you'll tune in. We hope you tell your friends, tell their friends, tell your friends, tell everybody. And check us out. Comment below. Tell us what you like. If you have any question you want us to ask, say it. Put it in the comments. All right? And if you want any topics you want us to discuss, let us know. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.